Hello everyone, it's Sabrina Young with Young's Daughters Funeral Home and Bereavement Center. This child book is called The Rough Patch, and I really liked how this book displays the anger effect that many people go through and the isolation and just kind of tearing down the world. So we're going to open it up and I'm going to show you just how angry this book gets, and it was actually pretty interesting to read. It's called The Rough Patch by Brian Lies. And it goes on about a fox that has a pet dog. And this dog goes everywhere with him. And it was really nice to see that they did music and adventures. You'll see that they played games and they enjoyed treats together. They were always together, and life seems grand. Everybody goes about their days, and things are wonderful. And beautiful yards have grown up so big and beautiful because they tended to them together. But then the unthinkable happens, and he loses his dog. And so this is where the story takes a very unique turn from all the books of grief we've talked about so far. When he laid his dog to rest in the garden, nothing was the same. And you'll see this is kind of the transformation page, which done very well. He shut everything out. You'll see that it's a pretty dark photo. It starts casting in just a little bit of light here and from outside. And he realizes that now it's getting swallowed up in all this anger and hatred. And just, found himself with a hoe, and he's swinging and he's breaking down the beautiful garden. He hacked it all into bits, and everything was in a big broken pile. All of the garden turns very negative. So, but a good place won't stay kept for long. New plants sprouted and stretched towards the sky, and then the weeds. So weeds started taking over the garden. You'll see that there's unpleasant things that are growing in his garden. And the beauty that he had during the lifetime, you'll see that in his garden, it couldn't be a happy place, that it was going to be the saddest and most desolate spot he could make of it. So here they show that he's just hacking away, designing things that are less desirable for the garden. And soon there it was. You'll see that just his anger being shown out. You'll see that all the pictures are very dark. His demeanor is even dark. So it was interesting to see that to see the darkness in a book. So there was this vine that crept through the fence line, and he actually hacked it off, and he was angry. He says, "No, you're not going to grow here. You're not going to be good here. I don't want you here." This again, so it's sneaking underneath, but then he considered its prickly stems, and he seen how fuzzy it was and spiderly, and then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna let this be because it's ugly and it's nasty and it deserves to be in this ugly, nasty spot," is what he's saying. So it begins to grow, and the pumpkin begins to grow from it. He cleared the weeds from the path, and then he began to water it, and the vine responded to its care. So it was like, "Hey, I'm okay to be here. I'm going to share this with you." And so you'll see that he keeps checking on it. He's still very sad. His eyes are drooped down. The illustration shows him that he's still in a very sad spot. And then it moves through that around the time he uncovers it and it's growing, he started to feel a little bit happy because now he's got something good that's in his garden. And the fair was next week. So he bundled it up and he took it to the fair and he displays it. And during the display, he carries it and he does all these things and he even eats it and shares good food, and he begins to find happiness again. Well, once he goes to the fair, he realizes his pumpkin won third place. So you could either get $10 or you get a box of an animal, another puppy that was inside. So he says, "I'll just take the money. I don't want another animal." But what he does was pretty interesting is he heard the box and he says, "Well, I'll just take a little peek. I just want to see what's inside." And what happens? He makes connection with a new puppy, and he takes him home. So I really like that if somebody is going through a lot of anger, that this book really displays anger and the turmoil that one can go through. So if you know someone, a child that's having a lot of hard time and is in that dark stage, you can actually physically see that in this book. So I really like that aspect. I didn't see that in any of the other grief books. So thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it.